Hi everyone, I am Shan.
And I am Tam. This is the Real Talk Podcast.
On this podcast, we have some candid conversations between us.
We invite you to not only listen, but interact with us and our guests as we have some real
talk.
So good morning, Shan and Tam fam. Summer is finally here. And mercy, the allergies them, the sun well hot. But Tam and I wanted to pop in this morning, just one of the earlier conversations we had a few weeks ago about the importance of taking time for yourself. Last night I had the opportunity to connect with a few friends. And the conversation came up just about traveling and living for now. Right? Taking the time now to do things for you. And one of the things that came to my mind, Tam, one of the earlier conversations we had in one of our devotional group, is it selfish for women not to want to have children or even get into like marriage or even a serious relationship in the time that they're living, right? As opposed to just finding themselves and living. Right? Because I know a lot of people, like even in society, once you start dating somebody, the expectation is, when are you guys getting married? And then after that, the expectation is, when you're going to get the child? And after that, the expectation is, okay, are you guys going to buy a house together? And then after that, when are you having another child? But what if you just want to be still and find you? Travel, learn about you. Experience life. Is that selfish? So I just wanted to open up today just to have that conversation and to hear from the listeners. What are their thoughts on that?
Yeah, and that's something that often comes to mind for me. Like I think about my life, and a lot of people tend to think that when you express these thoughts that you're being selfish or you're being ungrateful, right? For the things that you do currently have in your life. But I've even told my eldest daughter, do everything you want to do. Think about all the things that you would like to see, places you would like to go, things you would like to accomplish, outside of getting your education, or even getting to that ideal job, your dream job. Think about all of those things that you would love to have for yourself or experience and start moving towards it even before you get into more settled familial situations. Because the fact of the matter is your life changes.
It changes drastically, and you're not just thinking about you, you're thinking about other people, you're thinking about children, you're thinking about a lot of other things, because I can even speak for myself personally in this season, just remarrying, but I'm turning 37 next year, right? So a lot of people have been asking, so you guys not going to have the baby? And I really had to sit and think, do I really want another child right now? Because what does that mean for me? Shanique, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a child who's turning 11 this year. In a few years, he's a teenager. In a few years, I'm being 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also have to weigh the pros and cons. Am I doing something just because of people expect me to do it? Or am I doing something because I want to? So I think we really have to step back. And it goes to even an earlier conversation you and I had this week about advancing in your career time.
Right.
When I was posing a scenario to you and picking your brain, and it came up to say, it's not that we say we can't do certain things. We can do whatever we put our mind to do it. But at the end of the day, are we doing things for us, or are we doing things just to please other people?
Yeah, what is expected of you, right? And I remember us having that conversation because it's something that I've had to reflect on recently too, where career opportunities have presented themselves. And I'm like, and everybody around me is telling me, you should do this, you should do that, you'd be awesome, you'd be great at it, this is. But when I really sat with myself to think about if this is something that I really wanted, or it was something that other people wanted for me, I also had to reinforce in my mind that, listen, if I don't want it, it's okay. It's okay for me not to want it for myself, regardless that it may seem on the outside that you're advancing. But what does that mean for your complete being, your happiness, your joy? Because Miss Sari, right now, I'm all about living for the joy in
Listen
my
to me.
life.
Listen to me. We were
Without
talking last
apologize.
night. I'm a little friend, Gregory, my friend, my brother, whom I love so much. And Gregory, all over the place, all over the place. Him to yes, him that is someone said, Gregory, he's like, my mental health is important. And I was
Right.
like, real talk.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what I do for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work hard
Mhm.
and I'm gonna travel the world, mega experience the world because it is a part of building me
Yeah.
and my own mental health. And it's real talk, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this quote on Facebook the other day that was so profound, like pretty much what it was saying. You work until 55,
Mhm.
right? Until retirement age. And you say you're going to start live life after
Mhm.
retirement. But then life expectancy is what? Sometimes
It's shorter.
79.
Yeah.
Life expectancy is short. And then what's going to happen? You work till you're 55, even 60 sometimes,
Yeah.
to enjoy life for another 5 years. And the fact of the matter is, Tam, COVID has really impacted people and life. Sometimes I wonder where we're going in our body with stress,
I know.
right? Why wait until you reach retirement to start living? Why not just live now?
Right.
Why not start putting the things in place to live now? If you
Yeah.
have a goal to take a trip, I say, I want to go Ghana, I want to do this. Why not
Yeah.
put that in place and do it as opposed to say, I go wait till I retire? Because the fact of the matter is, we may never get to retirement age.
Right.
We
Yeah.
may never get there.
Yeah, and that's something that Patrick and I are very big on. We fundamentally agree on that. And I've had people question, oh yeah, let you pick me them and whatever. Why would you send your kids away from you guys separately, or how not take vacation by yourself? We fundamentally agree that there is a space for us separate
Mhm.
and apart from the kids in our lives,
You have
because
to.
we work hard. We've tried to put in place the things that we want to accomplish. We have our goals. We work together, and he's always been like, listen, if we can't enjoy, what would I work for? No,
That's the
when we
point.
gonna enjoy it? Like, we're not gonna sit around and wait till these kids say, "Oh, you have to wait till the kids them grown and gone, or then
Mm-mm.
gone off to school, or then get married and stuff." He's like, "Who says we're gonna be around at that point?" And two, the pitney them good on a business video anyway.
That's my whole point, Tom. Them I get
Like
older than the business video. You know what I
right
mean?
now,
Yeah.
right now, there are days, and so we had a few friends over last night, and they were like, "Where are your kids?" I'm like, "Everybody gone do something on their own, right?"
Mm-hmm.
My eldest has her own circle. My middle one have his own circle. Him one the
Even
things. Even
P
my
even
little one,
PH
even
even PH
PH
of our
nowadays,
social life.
he's like, "Okay, mom, I want to go X or I want to go Y." And sometimes Patrick and I are sitting here looking at each other like, "Okay, where we can go now."
Exactly.
But it just shows that it's important for you to, like you said, be present, right, in your own life. What are the things that you
Mm-hmm.
want to do them now, because
Mm-hmm.
nobody, COVID for one, show you that tomorrow is not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed to
Like,
anybody.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
who would have guessed that 2 years would have gone by where you never see people where you used to see every day?
Listen to me, we saw a church back there recently, and yeah, see some people we ain't seen in 2 years, and just the
Mhm.
joy with seeing these people.
Yeah,
And the fact of the matter is, we have to live for now because we
yeah,
know that tomorrow is not promised, right? And after
right.
last night, I was like, why, God, me just a pray you forgive me the health and the strength
Mhm.
to be able to reach life to start doing these things. Because the fact of the matter is, tomorrow is not promised to anybody, right?
Real talk.
Real talk.
yeah, tomorrow's not promised. Like several things popped out at me yesterday. The whole sermon that pastor talked about being a peacemaker and having
Right.
peace, and just even last night with you and the family and going out again with my other group of family. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, God, just give me the strength to let go of negative people, as what the
Yeah.
things say. Garnish your peace, hold your peace, let go of negativity,
Yeah.
and just foster healthy relationships around you,
Right.
right? You can't control people's reaction, you can control people's behavior, you can control you. And as much as though it hurts sometimes when people hurt you, and tell them about them, you know
Hmm.
what?
I know. Real talk.
Yeah,
That.
real talk, right? You want to tell them about them, you know what? Like last night, I was like, God, just give me the peace for garnish my tongue
Mhm.
and just for foster the healthy relationships around me that can fill me up.
Right. That
And it was
can.
so filled yesterday
Yeah.
by being with you and the family and the kids, and then going out with Gregory and
Yeah.
the ladies last night. It was just such a wonderful day. You know what I mean? And I was like, God, like I am about living in this
Hmm.
season. Living. What does that mean? Mean take time for Shanique,
Right.
because at the end of the day, sometimes we give so much, right? I was listening to the talk with Fabian, and she was saying, you know, in our 40s, you guys talk, that's when life start late, right?
Yeah.
Why you're gonna do things now when you can't take the time for you? Because sometimes you give so much to other people, other entities, your career, your pitney, the man. Take time for you. Take
Yeah.
time for you.
Yeah, when you mentioned about us possibly talking about this topic this morning, I was thinking about that same conversation we had with Fabian, where she was like,
Mm-hmm,
she not
mm-hmm,
apologize now, so she needs some Fabian time, and she does the things for, herself that keeps her whole. And I feel the same way. I think we have come into an age where we
mm-hmm,
are sort of breaking the molds about what is expected of us as
mm-hmm,
women,
mm-hmm,
being mothers, being wives,
mm-hmm.
um, just catering to and nurturing everybody else around us and forgetting about us in the
Forgetting
process.
about yourself.
Yeah, and not feeding and nurturing ourselves. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't think that it's selfish. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to, as much as we, you know, put, like you said, work for, plan for, put things in place for our kids or families as a whole. I think it's important for us to get back to um, doing the things that we need for ourselves individually, feeling good about that, being
Mm-hmm.
unapologetic about it, not thinking that it's selfish,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the seeing a whole and peaceful you brings that seeing a whole and peaceful spirit to everybody else in your life.
And that's my whole point, Tam. That's my whole point. I was thinking, there's so many things. I was thinking about a conversation I had with a colleague a few months ago, and he was saying to me, Shan, he told me he drove for a few hours one day. He just got up and drove for a few hours, right? Because he needed to work on his own mental health, right? And he
Right.
left, he drove, and he's like, I can now understand sometimes as a child, I see my mother just going at the car and going. And
I
he's
know.
like, Mom, where are you going? But he's like, he gets it because she just needed a minute from them and what was
Yeah.
going on in the house. And even going up, sometimes reflecting, thinking about even this topic, thinking about my own mother. She would have cooked, she would have cleaned, she would have take care of everything, but I never really saw her make
Leave.
space for her. She
Yeah, like
never
she wasn't doing anything that you could
She
clearly
never make
identify as for
space
her.
for her. Other than the
Yeah.
two little friends she had, she would talk to. But never really see she go spa or do anything. And poverty
What
had a
kind
lot
of
to do with
spa?
that. What kind of spa? You know
I
what I mean?
know.
Poverty had a lot to do with that. But
Yeah.
the chronic stress, the chronic poverty, everything that was going on, she was still doing for her children and she never really did for her. So a lot of that even made me think, how did that play a role in her? How she
Own,
parented, how
yeah,
she
her
saw
own mental
herself,
health. Yeah.
her own mental health,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like you're pouring, pouring, pouring into everybody else around you. Who is pouring into you?
But you know, the thing that comes to mind as you're talking about that is that we've talked about several times too. When you know better, you do better. Okay? Because you know, I don't know that our parents really, as I think about it, were like you were taught or even were exposed to those ideas to say you need to take care of yourself too, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just been another iteration, just another repeat of what you're taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is how their parents function, their parents saw their parents function that way, and so it comes down. But I think that, you know, with the exposure to technology, I think has had a lot
Mm-hmm.
to do with this sort of new age or new ideas of thinking about taking more care of yourself. Because come to think of it, it's only because we've been exposed
And
now
it's a
to
new
those
age
ideas.
now. And even the younger
Yeah,
generation, younger
yeah,
than us, them unapologetic about for them self-care and for them mental health. That is a
yeah,
lingo, that is a language. Even
mhm,
the generation that's younger than us.
yeah,
All right. Them no ramp with the traveling and the self-care and the
yeah,
taking care of themselves. And you see it because less and less younger people are having children
right.
are being in committed relationships because them are focused on them.
And I don't think that that is all, it's all towards selfish. You know how I feel about this
No,
whole having like that conversation that I experienced the other day about the fact that if you don't want to have kids, whatever.
so you're
Anyway,
selfish. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but um, but I don't think it's selfish. And it's not to say that, like, I don't want people to think that I'm not grateful for my life, my
Uh-huh,
children,
uh-huh,
my family, and whatever. I'm very grateful for it. I love
uh-huh,
them.
uh-huh,
But there's also that part of me that wonders, okay,
uh-huh,
how much more could I have done or how much more could I have experienced had I
uh-huh,
not? I mean, if I start have kids early, like
mm-hmm. Yeah,
relatively early,
yes, yes.
right? Um, but how much more could I have done or how much more could I have experienced had I not been focused on the fact that by the time I reached 30, I'm supposed to married. Or
Yeah,
like I can tell you that was an all-consuming thought. I pretty much felt like a failure as I approached 30 and still was not in a committed
in a
relationship, still
relationship.
wasn't in a place where I was looking for, like the relationship I was in was heading towards marriage, still not
Mm-hmm.
able to have a child. Like it was a real thing.
It was
And
a thing. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we need to stop it. I think we need to stop it. Stop teaching people that these that I think are just societal expectations and norms that have
Mm-hmm.
been around forever, that this is okay. I think people
Mm-hmm.
need to live their life the
Mm-hmm.
way you feel you're most fulfilled in living your
And
life.
valuable.
Real talk.
Real talk. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if the things will come, if it comes that you want the relationship, well, go for it, right? If you think that you need to have the child or the children, go for it. But don't be placed in a box
Yes.
based on what people want for you. What do you want? What makes you happy?
Right.
And that's where I am right now, Tam. Maintaining my peace, I know we are going all over the place, but maybe there one wedding again this week.
But
And
this is
listen to
just
me,
naturally how the conversation
it
is
is just
going.
naturally. And can I tell you, I love having conversations with older people.
Right.
And like my spirit just gravitates to older people because there's so much wisdom.
That's
And this
why
lady,
all of your friends them older than you, including
I
me.
know, I know, I real talk. The friends them that I have that are my same age are people that
Yeah,
many
yeah.
know from me and look up
Long
to me
time.
long time,
Yeah.
right?
Anyway, we
But my
digress.
we digress, right? And she said she was 65. And can I tell you, the woman look good? Yeah, and you see how she look real good. She had danced on the dance floor and stuff. And something that I am taking from even this conversation
Mhm.
and from this whole weekend is asking God, regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of what season I'm in, to give me peace
Yeah.
Peace, the peace in my heart, the peace in my soul, the peace in my tongue, right? Because you cannot put a price on peace.
Because you were saying that, I think you had told me that the lady said that all she asked for God, all she asked for every day is that God give her peace or
Peace.
something like that, right?
Regardless of what she's going through, to give her peace, right? To allow her to rest in her peace, regardless of what's happening around her or
Right.
what's going on. Ask God for peace. And I thought that was so profound.
Powerful. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true because the fact of the matter is we experience a lot of things in our lives, right? Daily that impact us between work and home and, extended relationships, family, friends, and so on. So all of that, even when you're, thinking that you're okay in one area, there might be a little turmoil in another area or stuff. But yeah, that inner peace is something to strive for. And how do we do that? I know that I personally, prayer right now is and has been for a while.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, my connection, and that is like the sustenance, and choosing to believe that even the trials that we're going through, that there's going to be a season when it's gonna be better, right?
It's not gonna always be like that.
Yeah, I have to believe that. I have to believe that because if me not believe that, me not know where I would be on a daily basis to get through some of the things that I experience. So that is how I gain that peace, by praying and choosing to exercise a little bit of faith when we have, and sometimes the faith isn't there, but I still try to pull myself back to that and to really do the things that I find fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
And I know when you said something earlier, you were saying your friend said that his mother would get in her car and drive. I'm like, how much do you sit outside a Baskin Robbins with
real talk?
Real talk. May I give a secret now? But
I'm telling you,
there are days when I am just like, I'm out of here.
Just to clear your head. To clear your head.
Means we can get one double scoop of ice cream.
Listen to me, just to clear your head and no judgments. But fam, let us know your thoughts on this. What does taking time for you mean? What does peace for you mean, right? And drop us a comment, right? Let us know any topic that you want Tam and I to talk about. And we are available. We are on Spreaker, on Spotify. Follow us on our YouTube channel, Shan and Tam Show, on our Facebook, on our Instagram page. Like, share, drop us a comment. I know Tam and I have been getting some positive feedback about these podcasts. So let us know what you want us to also talk about. Until we meet again, Shan and Tam, enjoy the summer. Be safe. And we will touch base with you guys again soon.
Walk good, everyone. Take care.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Don't forget to visit Shan and Tam on all their social media websites. At Sisters Shan and Tam on Instagram, Shan Tam Lodge-V on Facebook, and check out their blogs at shanandtam.blogspot.com. Tune in again next time on Real Talk.